Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. All right, give me, you know what? Hold on. Give me 1 sec here. I guess I should share. That's what it is. We're minimized. Alrighty, cool. There we go. How is everybody? Happy Tuesday. Everybody survived last week. A very eventful FOMC and a very eventful NFP week. And if you looked at the calendar today, there's absolutely nothing this week. So it's going to be a little bit of a dead week, I think. However, today's already kind of paid off very, very nicely. So, you know, let me close out on my miner here. For those of you guys who are mining, I'm sure you guys are very happy. We got the 100% LHR unlock. So every one of my cards now are full hash rate, which yeah, very, very nice thing, let me tell you. So let's dive into it. We're going to go right into the calendar, kind of take a look at what I'll be looking for. It's honestly really nothing. The really only thing that I'll be looking at is going to be, bam, here we go. The only thing I'm really going to be looking at on the US dollar side is just going to be what's going to come out of the CPI data tomorrow. I really don't envision a lot of movement because of fundamentals, because of news this week, right? It's pretty much going to be just following the technicals and allowing price to kind of put itself in a position for me to trade it. Alrighty. So calendar wise, we're pretty much dead. And going into, obviously, right, I feel like I could probably just play the intro from the last 6 weeks. I am still bullish on the dollar. Nothing has told me to stop being bullish on the dollar. So, of course, you know, everything USD XXX I'm buying, and everything against the dollar I'm shorting. So hopefully you were able to catch the some plays. The one that I really caught today was US dollar Swiss franc. We'll go through it. I know some of the guys are pretty happy about catching it. And yesterday AU gave a really decent continuation play off the redistro, and we'll see what happens. I'm almost 65% secured in profits, and if it stops me out at break even, then we're going to come higher, and I'll be pretty happy with it coming higher because I want to sell it from a more premium spot. All right, so that's really what I'm going to be concentrating on this week, is just staying with the majors. Really, there's nothing changing my mind into looking for anything outside of the majors, just because, you know, it's got the lowest spreads, at least on all my brokers. All right, so we'll go into it. Let us start. And of course, we'll get into some crypto too, because man, oh man, I am sure some people are definitely hurting, especially with the crypto markets. So we'll go through it. I've been expecting it. I've been expecting, if you guys were watching back in May when we got the big dip, I was expecting that. So I was expecting what we saw today. I actually went on a little bit of a shopping spree and picked up some stuff. And yeah, we'll get into it. So let's start with the dollar index. Here we go. All right, let's start with the dollar index. And there's no point in doing any top down, because on the dollar crosses, nothing has changed from a top down analysis in months, right? All I can say is where we're at right now is right here. We're in this reaccumulation. So obviously I've been anticipating us to push down, because this is what I really wanted to get into. If you're looking at where EU is, it's just the opposite, right? I'm looking for us to see that press. Well, we're not getting it. So at this point, I don't know if you could see the alert lines right here, but we're either going to push higher and then I'm going to play the continuation move here, or we're going to push lower and I'm going to play it out of here, right? I'm going to play the pullback, play the continuation move. That's really all it is. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for buys, not looking for shorts on this. And, you know, we'll go from there. So, I mean, I've got DXY down. So if I know what dollar is doing, right, I know how I'm going to trade EU. If I know how to trade EU now, I know how I'm going to trade EG. If I know how I'm going to trade EG, that means I know how I'm going to trade GU. We'll throw AU and NU over here as well. And, of course, I know how I'm going to trade UCAD. If I know how to trade UCAD, I know what I'm going to do with CAD-J, right? And if I know what I'm doing with US Swiss franc, right, and UJ, and especially UJ, if I know what I'm doing with UJ, I know what I'm doing pretty much with all of the Japanese yen crosses, simply because, right, UJ is just the inverted version of the Japanese yen futures. So I'm going to kind of stick with that that mindset, right? Sticking with the majors and throwing in the yen crosses. Obviously, the yen crosses aren't anywhere. We're in the middle of no man's land. So I'm going to be waiting for price to kind of give me something, 28K BTC is coming. I'll tell you right now, if we break below 29, we're going to go right through 28K. So I've already made up my mind that if we break below 29, I'm moving everything into stable coins. So yeah, I mean, not financial advice, do what you need to do, but I'm pretty confident that we take 29, whatever that mark is that I have on that low, we break that accumulation, and we're coming all the way down into the teens on BTC. And, man, I'll tell you this, crypto is going to be in a world of hurt for the next couple of years. So just stand by. We'll see what happens, right? Where do you learn market structure? I mean, there's plenty of places that you can look online. There's some academies that you can join and stuff like that. Yep. Is US Terra a stable coin? So for me, it's not, and it's never been. But I'll tell you this, it's going to go back up to $1. So it's probably the best 25% you'll ever make quickly, whether or not you got to hold on to it for like 6 months. But I'm personally not even going to attempt that. It's not worth my equity for it. For me, I typically go into US dollar coin. That's my go-to stable coin that I use. So isn't 28K technically the extreme? It is 29. Hold on. Since we're here, hold on. So it is right here, 28,944. If we break below 28,944, it's yeah, we're done. We will be done. You can expect BTC to come back into, if I had to put a decent play on it, it's going to be right in here. This is where I'd be waiting, right here, between like say 5,500 and 9K is where I'm waiting if we take that low. So, and if that's the case, then all of these projects in here that are not big, not blue chips, you can see go bye-bye pretty much. Yeah. So it's an extended bear market for crypto. Well, this would be the signal of the bear market for me. Yep. That would be the signal of the bear market. We break this, we're in a bear market. We're still in a bull market right now. I mean, we haven't violated, we're still within our leg. You know what I mean? This right here is our bullish leg. So we're still in a bull market. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Isn't what you got, man? No clue what you're showing, bro. You're talking about taking a buy out of here. I mean, it could play out. I honestly, yeah, I mean, I honestly, this is it right here. That low right there. That low. So it's pretty much equal lows. I mean, unless you've got the order book, I haven't looked at the order book, nor do I really care to. Because I'm not margin trading this, so I'm not placing any limit orders on it. But if we break that, we're done. So yeah, all good. The all-time high came out of 28,000. The accumulation is right above it. Came out of 28,000. Came out of 28,000. Yeah, man. I think we're just talking about. If you're talking about that, yes. Yep. It is a different feed. Yeah, yeah, it is a different feed. Yep. But if you look at the order books, we never broke below here. So, yep. Yeah, that's ideally if we take out this low right here, if we take out that accumulation right there, we're done. So, yep. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's this right here. It is that right there. So we take out, no matter, I mean, it doesn't matter what feed it's on. You know, obviously the only feed that matters is going to be the order book. So wherever that, I mean, I personally haven't gone and looked at the order book itself, but if you look at the BTC order book, you'll know where those orders are, and it's in that price action. We take that and it's done. So, but we'll see. Like I said, I mean, it's going to be essentially you're going to wipe away probably the last, man, I don't even know. What are we talking here? The last 5 years of crypto? We're talking 2017. Yeah, so 5 years. Yeah, we're talking about you're wiping away 5 years. So did I buy Luna? Yeah, I've been cost dollar averaging in on Luna. Yeah, but I haven't been cost dollar averaging in on Luna stablecoin UST. No, I didn't have that. Do I tend to see a lot of false accumulations at the extreme? I don't know what a false accumulation is though. Accumulations that turn into redistros. So it's not a false accumulation, right? It'd be a redistro. Yeah, I guess you'd have to ask yourself if it's in the extreme, that was an attempt at an accumulation and there wasn't enough interest to take the market higher. So they redistributed and changed the entire structure of the market. So yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you've been back testing it, but we haven't, at least in the last 2 years, we haven't come into any real big extremes of the leg. I mean, I could probably count. I'd probably say maybe like 24. So 24 is in the last 2 years where we've come into some extremes of the legs, but all of them have been accumulations. So are the price on Luna now? I mean, all depends if you're going to cost dollar average in or not. I'm personally not doing anything until I figure out what Bitcoin's doing. I mean, Bitcoin's honestly at the it's at that imaginary line where if it breaks it, that's it. You know, I'm not going to be looking for buys on crypto for a while. So, all right, so let's get back over here and we'll talk about crypto at the end if I got time. All right, so we know what we're doing with dollar index, or at least I know what I'm doing with dollar index, right? I'm going to be looking to play out of here, right? If we come down and if we go higher, I'm going to be looking, and this is the high that I want to take out, this little distribution that means nothing to me, right? We take out that high and I'll be looking to play a pullback to go higher with it. So on EU, right, what am I looking for EU? I'm saying in all Forex. Yeah, honestly, man, I don't know what the actual question you're asking. So let me try to read it again. Do you tend to see a lot of false accumulations at the extremes? No, I don't. Accumulations yeah, I don't. Yeah. If you're in a bullish market and you come into the extreme in the leg, I typically don't see them in the extreme of the leg. I mean, like I said, in the last 2 years, I've probably have only seen price truly come into 24, maybe 36, but in the 20s, high 20s in structure. I mean, just think about lower time frame structure. UJ hasn't seen lower time frame structure in almost a year and a half, right? So, I mean, unless we're talking about just different extremes, I don't consider order flow extremes as a I guess a solid example of limit orders on the extremes. I don't do that with order flows. right? I only do it with actual structure points. Okay, do you think indices have some buy potential? For swing trading? Not until, I mean, I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm selling, I've been selling the snot out of indices for weeks. So I'm personally not buying them. I'm not even looking for a hedge on it right now. I'm still looking for continuation to the downside. So yeah. Okay. So EU, right? EU. I mean, here's EU at its finest. What am I looking for? So I am at this point just going to be sitting here waiting for this low to get taken, because I want this to be the redistribution, right? If that low gets taken, so if we take, what are we talking here? We're talking 30, we're talking like 80 pips. We break that low, we now have a new order flow leg right here. And we also know where we are in the market cycle, right? So what I'll be looking for is I'll be looking for price to, once it breaks this low, to come back. Either if this is what causes, right? If this is my slingshot, then this is where I'm looking for my distribution. And if we trade higher, you can already see I've got the alert right here, because I'll play out of that distribution once it becomes applicable, right? So that's how I'm going to really target EU. It's just going to be a wait and see. I'm really, when we talk about this range right here, we've been in this range for 12 days now, and I'm still looking for the shorts. I'm just not going to look for shorts until we actually do something, right? So, I'm waiting. I've got it boxed out, waiting for the new low. Or, will I take a distribution out of here? I will, right? If we come up into this area right here, that comes into this distribution, right? Will I take a distribution out of it? Sure, because we've already broken order flow, right? Our order flow on the most smallest form was broken here. So we went here to here, down to this, which broke this high. And then when we did this right here, right, when we broke that, we are now, the smallest form of order flow is bearish, but I still want us to follow in with the market cycle, right? So if we do come up here before breaking this low, it's just going to mean that I'm going to risk less. I'm going to reduce my risk going into a trade here, but I'm still going to take something out of this distribution, right? What I'd like to do though, is I'd like for it to just go ahead and reconfirm that redistribution for me before we do anything, right? All right, so that's EU. On GU side, right? GU on Friday, I'll tell you what, I was really upset with the spread on Friday because I was going to take it, but it is what it is. So on GU, I'm still holding, I think, 6 orders. The most recent one is going to be out of here that I'm still holding. I don't even know what she's at, a couple hundred pips in profit. But last week, this is what I was looking for, right? I'm waiting for this break. We got the break. I was looking for price to come back in here, and we haven't. So now what I'm looking for is I'm either going to play the pullback in here, or I'm going to play the continuation move. We break this low. I know this is what we're coming back to mitigate. Anything coming back into that area, once it happens, I'm going to be shorting it from there, right? So on the GU side, I mean, again, it's just like EU. I'm kind of just waiting. Do we come higher so I can sell it from up here? Or do we break the low, confirm a redistribution, and I'll play out of the manipulation, right? That's how I'm going to be setting this up. It may be one of those where I'm just waiting. I don't mind waiting. I've been waiting. What are we talking here? Been waiting 2.5 weeks since my last position. Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks going on right now since we got into this entry over here. So, and it's just been playing the continuation move, right? Playing the redistribution after redistribution after redistribution and so forth, right? So I'll be patient with it. I'll be happy if it does pull back up, because it gives me a better target to reach for now. So as it is, the alerts are set, and we'll see how it goes. All righty. We'll stick with the dollar crosses, right? So AU, actually we'll do AU. So AU actually caught a quick little move that happened yesterday, and right, we can see we're still massively bearish. We've got the redistribution. And of course, I'm looking for price to come back into the redistribution. So if we came up here, I'd be looking for the short, right? Hold on one sec. Alrighty, silly dogs. But I don't know if anybody saw this yesterday. We got another really clean redistribution coming out of AU. And again, same thing, play the continuation play, right? I'm not looking for buys on this, right? We're in a bearish market. And as soon as we confirmed the redistribution, which happens right here, right? Come on, and it's 8. There we go. As soon as we confirmed that break right here during New York session, it was pretty clear that this was a redistribution. So I knew we were going to come back into this really clean entry. You know, I used a little bit of confluence, right? Took it off of the 80% of the shakeout, which also lined up with 80% of a redistribution that causes the first area of demand to get invalidated on the seconds time frame. So for me, this was like a 2.2? Yeah, 2.2 pip spread minus 2.2 pip stop loss minus the spread. So really clean entry. I'd suggest going back and back testing it if you want to take a look at what happened in there. But she came in right into the 80% of that, which was the 80% of this as well. And partialed out when we broke this, partialed out again when we broke 69.20 last night in here. So, I mean, this move wasn't too bad. Like I said, I'm taking a lot of volume off when we're at these lows. So, I mean, this was sitting at a 1 to 45, and I don't even know where she's at right now, somewhere around there. My next play for this is just play the continuation move, right? We're either going to come, you can see I've got the alert sitting right up here, and I've got an alert here. We're either going to come back into now this, right, up here, or, and this is the 50% of it, or we're going to just redistribute, right? You could see the accumulation that did nothing out of this, that did nothing. And, you know, all I want to see is a manipulation. So hopefully sometime tonight, maybe we get that Frankfurt push, we break, and I'll come back to mitigate Frankfurt. That's how I'm going to set this, right? Yeah, that's how I'm going to set it. Do you intraday trade or just swing trade? I mean, I guess you would say I just swing trade because I'm not looking for scalps. I mean, well, it could turn into a scalp, but in order for me to get into a trade, it's got to be a minimum of a 1 to 10. So, you know, whether or not that means it's like today on US dollar Swiss franc, 12 pips, that gave me the 1 to 10. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the answer is difficult to give because yeah, I'm not a scalper. So I'm not looking for every day to get into a trade to try to catch 15, 20 pips, right? I'm looking for the big move. So the big move allows me to put equity on the line and not have to keep going back and back and back to it. So how do you join the private group meeting? What do you mean the private group meeting? This is you're in the Zoom meeting, bro. You're in it. So we need to take the low first to confirm the redistro. Yeah. On AU. Yeah, man. I'm going to be waiting for this right here. That low right here for me to play. Now, I don't need a low, right? I don't need a low for us to come up and play out of this, right? This right here is on the table. So yeah, man. What time's Frankfurt? It's the Angel Bro. It's an hour before London. So for me, 2 a.m. For you, I don't know. What time? London's at midnight for you, right? So Frankfurt, I think, is like 11 for you. 11 p.m., bro. Yeah. There you go. Kevin's got it, bro. Kevin's got it. Am I putting fibs across the entire manipulation? In this instance, yeah. I mean, I'll do it across the entire manipulation, and if I find the most voluminous candle, yeah, I'll put it again. The most voluminous candle is going to give me the best entry. All right, it's going to give me the more precise entry. What's the major reason you look for a 1 to 10 R to R? Because anything less isn't worth me putting my money on the line for it. I mean, that's that's the easiest answer. It's got to be a 1 to 10 for me to risk money. For me to risk capital, it's got to be a 1 to 10. if it's a 1 to 5, I mean, what was that trade we were looking at the other day? It was like a 1, I think it was like NU or NCAD, something like that. It was like a 1 to 7.5. It just wasn't worth the entry for me. It wasn't worth the risk for the reward. So yeah, for me, it's got to be a 1 to 10 minimum. All right. So on AU, this is pretty much what we're looking for, right? Pretty simple. Now NU gave the same play on Monday. I didn't get into NU. I got into AU. They both happened at the same time. And Mondays, I'm not real big into getting into trades anyway. So it just so happens that when this one, again, confirmed our redistro, right, can come right back into the 80%. And, you know, I'm not Nostradamus. I don't have a magic black ball, right? Magic 8 ball, I guess. But seeing that we've already swept on NU today, I'm almost positive we're going to sweep on AU, right? They're comparable assets. NU, obviously, NU for the last couple of weeks has been the weaker of the two pairs, meaning it's been the leader. So I'm gonna go with the assumption that that AU is going to follow, right? So we already know that we've redistributed here. We've got the confirmation. For me, the alert went off sometime during New York session. And what I'm going to be looking for now is just for price. And you know, just looking at it, I can already tell you that. So we've got a distribution during Asian. We've got a redistro that happens crossover from London into New York. And ultimately we have the break. So what I'll be looking for tonight is, you know, we know that here's 50% lines up perfectly into our redistro. So anything that gives me a schematic here or schematic out of Asian gets me into this trade, right? And now it comes back to, is it worth my risk? So that's where if I can't get a tight stop, I'm not going to trade it, right? If, you know, what's my target? My target's going to be to take out and make a new low on this. So if I can see, let's see. So let's just say we come up. Let's just say we come up into this 80, right? And let's just say I wanted to throw a limit order off this 80, which I would probably never do, right? This is a 13 pip stop. So my first target's going to be down to here. That's always what I base my risk off of. This is a 1 to 4.5. Never going to happen for me, right? So it's a 59 pip move. In order for me to get that 1 to 10, it's got to be under a 6 pip stop, right? So if I can find myself under a 6 pip stop, then great, then I'll take it. So that's where I'll wait for that schematic right in here. Alrighty. Mike, you're used to 1 to 3s? Well, if the 1 to 3s work for you, I mean, listen, if the 1 to 3s work for you, don't change it. You know, you can always, I mean, listen, you guys can go on my, you guys can go back, I don't even know what, 3 years ago, go 3 years ago into my YouTube channel, 2.5 years ago, and look at all those, look at the old videos. I mean, we were catching 1 to 3s, 1 to 5s, you know? I think we took my very first 1 to 100 trade was on CHFJPY actually. And I think it was one morning in the Aporia group, just posting the charts. That was my first 1 to 100 trade. That was probably, I don't know, 2 years ago. So yeah, I mean, you just got to work on it. That's all it is. I mean, there's nothing magical about it. It you know, it takes time and experience and an understanding of the market. That's all it is. You know, anybody can really do it. There's plenty of people on this call right now that have found themselves in some really nice trades, you know. So anyway, so NU, this is really what I'm just waiting for. I'll be waiting for price tonight. We'll see if we can get something, some kind of manipulation going on in here during London. And, you know, ideally, if I can't get the distro here and that distro then leads to another break, then I know that this is where I'm going to be playing from. Right. So that's NU. All right. We'll talk about, we'll talk about UJ real quick. Right. And you know what? We'll come back to UJ. So we'll talk about UCAD, right? UCAD, if you guys watched my video, I posted real quick on Friday. This was just super clean. You know, a lot of us have been trying to catch UCAD, right? You could just see like waiting here, just short, waiting here, just short. You know, we've been waiting on UCAD, and the bias has been pretty good, right? We've been waiting on these buys, you know, and nothing about UCAD, even on the like intraday level, has been telling me to sell, right? Like when we did this and we broke below here, if you guys remember, like didn't mean I was bearish, because all we did was just come back into 80% of our leg, right? So I've been trying to buy it. We tried to buy it out of here. Once it came back, we were looking for it to come back. And UCAD, I feel like UCAD and UJ have just been the ones that have just been slipping away from me. And so going into NFP, right, I always like to identify like one or two pairs that I can watch right after the news event. And really what I was paying attention to was this. You know, we were expecting, and if you look at it this way, the speculation was what? Just reaccumulation. You know, yeah, okay, we broke order flow, whoop-de-doo. You know, I don't have enough fingers to count how many times price can break order flow in a same sitting, right? So once we broke order flow, what do I need to wait for? I need to wait for evidence of buyers coming in the market. So we see an accumulation, we see a reaccumulation, we break FOMC's candle, right? And that was the big thing for me. That's what I kind of, across all the dollar crosses, most of you guys that were on the Zoom calls with me, or we were talking chats, you know, that was the big thing for me. I wanted to see if we can break the threshold where FOMC gave them manipulation, because that was going to be real the biggest indicator for me that we were going to maintain that bullishness on the dollar. So coming out of here, the reaccumulation, this was the key, right? This is what I was looking for. I wanted to see, does price give me an entry into UCAD, right? So, you know I went over the video with it, so I'm not gonna go too in depth on it. It's pretty simple. You know, what are we expecting? We're expecting this massive distribution to just be a reaccumulation. You know, a couple of the factors that I was looking at, swept Asian right here during the news, that was big for me, right? And if you go down into the seconds time frame, that's where it was, right? We have a accumulation, right? Out of that accumulation, all I needed was the break. This was my break right there. We just needed the break, right? Once we got the break, from there, it was taking it off. Now I took it off 80%, and you'd have to have had the seconds time frame to know where to take it off of, because if you took it off of just the 80%, you really kind of got screwed by the broker or by the market, because it didn't come all the way back to 80%. But if you go down to the 1 second time frame and you just use your volume profile, that's where I decided to add about 0.7 pips to my position, right? Because I knew that this was the manipulation here, and this was where they bought it. So I took it out of here. And I even tried catching a 1 second that happened. Once I got filled, you'll see the 1 second actually come in here, and she just missed me. I had it off the 50, missed it, I think by like, I don't even know, 2 pipettes or something like that. Oh, come on. We need to speed this sucker up. There you go. So this is what I was trying to catch right here. So I got filled on the larger order, but now I was trying to catch this right here. And you just got a clean type 1 schematic. You know, you've got your one, come on. You've got your 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, and your spring. So as soon as we broke, that's all I did was just measure my spring, took it off the 50. There you go. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but you know, it gave me that 1 to 14, which I needed. Give me 1 second. Let me just throw these dogs out. All righty, there we go. There we go. All right. So anyway, yeah. This was a pretty clean play on Friday. And, the management was pretty easy. I was just going to be taking it to confirm reaccumulations and stuff. So I did end up taking a little over 50% volume off of this. And, she's sitting, well, she was at a 1 to 35. So you can just see reaccumulation. Today, this morning, we were looking here. I personally didn't get into this. I know a bunch of people did. So congrats for jumping into it. Really, really clean price action. If you remember, what was I talking about? I wanted us to come back into here, right? I wanted us to come back into here and give us a schematic. For those of you guys did catch it, I saw it in the chat, good job with it. Really clean type 1, came right into the 50%. And like I said, I know a bunch of you guys, use some of the stuff that I talk about, right? Just offset it. Split your risk, throw one, off the 80, one off the 50, put your 50 stop loss just below your 80 and go with it. So really clean price action. It was, the only reason I personally didn't take it, I was just real focused at this point on indices, and I was able to catch indices. So where this ended up coming up to, where you partialed out at your break, confirming reaccumulation, gave at least a 1 to 11, 1 to 10. So it's a pretty good play on it. You missed this one today. What you missed, bro? On UCAD. So why'd you miss it? What happened? It looks like you had it. Now, this was just way too big of a stop loss for me to take it off the entire thing. What was it like? I think it was like an 8 pip. What would it have been? It would have been, yeah, it would have been like 8 pips. Oh, Angel, if you're using sessions on chart, it's in Eastern time, bro. So just put 2 a.m. You missed this one too? Yeah. No, well, at least you saw it, man. At least you saw it. Everybody else, good job at least identifying it. So you weren't on the charts? You weren't on the charts at that time. What the heck were you doing, bro? That's prime New York time. Yeah, that's prime New York time, man. That's 10 o'clock. That's in the, listen, that's in the blue box. The blue box is where the magic happens, man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How would you reduce the stop loss? I just went through it, man. I covered it. Yeah. Just offset it between the 50 and the 80. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, cool. So anyway, that's UCAD. Like what's next for UCAD? Play the continuation move, right? We just saw that we had a continuation reaccumulation, right? Here's your reaccumulation. We know that we have our manipulation. So for me right now, what do I need to see? I need to see us come back into here. And we know that this is our last manipulation right here. So, realistically, I'm looking down here, right? I'm looking, somewhere in this area for price to come back down, and just looking for the same exact thing, right? Let price come back down, accumulate, take it up, partial out here, right? That's ideally how I'm going to play it, and go from there. So UCAD's been really, really nice, really clean. Like I said, for everybody that grabbed it, good job with it. This morning, what we were looking at was USHF. We were looking at USHF. So it is what it is. Where's that chart, bro? Where's that chart from USHF? I crack myself up sometimes, man, when we take some of these trades because it's just stupid. So, what was I looking at, right? We know, hold on. We know, there we go. All right. So we know from an order flow perspective, when we broke here, this is our order flow leg, right? It is what it is. So what did I want to see when we were coming into New York? Well, I wanted to see us sweep Asian lows, right? Sweep Asian lows. And then I started to ask myself, well, if we sweep Asian lows, right, we only have we only have 4.9 pips of leeway. So, you know, most of you guys know how I trade. So what do? We went into here. What was it? I think it was a 5-second accumulation. I think it was a 5-second accumulation. Oh, there she is right there. So what do we say? I go, well, I mean, here's your accumulation right here. And, you know, what do I want to play? I want to play the manipulation. So we just measured from here to here. This was the 80%, right? We can see the imbalance. So that was our entry right here. And, you know, it was a 0.9 pip stop. And how many times have you guys heard me say add 0.1 or 0.2 pipettes to your entry, right? That's what you got to do. So we were on the Zoom when this happened. And what does price do? Price comes, sweeps Asian liquidity, gives us a schematic, right? And there we go. And how far from the entry was it? Well, it was a whopping 0.2 pips. So probably 0.1, but yeah. So that's why I always add 0.1, 0.2 to it. So we got filled. I know a bunch of you guys got filled. Really clean entry. And, you know, from there, once we broke, right? Once we broke here, I was looking to come back and play into this. We just never did. But where this bad boy is at, you know, we've taken some partials. I think it's sitting at like a 1 to 45 from today. Where's she at? So she is currently sitting at a 1 to 52, 1 to 52. So real clean 1 to 52. And, you know, what's the next play? Well, obviously we need to make a new high, right? Where she's at right now, she needs to make a new high for me, right? Make a new high. Once she makes a new high, those limit orders go back in the table. So right now they're not valid until we make a new high. Once we make a new high, that accumulation is now the cause of that break. And we come back in, limit orders will be set. And if we accumulate anywhere in that 50 to 80 range, I'll be pulling the trigger to take the buy. So let's see. It was a beauty. It was a beauty. Did you just start with the high time frame entries and then progressively? Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much what it was, man. I had to teach myself, you know, to get down into these lower time entries because listen, what's the difference between a 1 minute accumulation and a 1 hour accumulation? Absolutely nothing, right? It's the same price action. It's just honestly developing the confidence in your eye to see it. You know, I mean, a couple of you guys have seen me take a 1 second accumulation. When we do it in replay mode, you guys have no problem taking it, right? Because you have a couple of minutes to figure it out and decipher it. You do this enough, it honestly becomes second nature to see it. Where are the three drives on which one, bud? What are you talking about, Chad? On the 5 second? What do you mean? Oh, you mean what we took it off of? Back here? Do you see it? Makes sense. Yeah. You gotta tilt your head, like squint your eyes a little bit, but she's there. She's there, right? There she is right there. Right. So you gotta be, you want to be able to see it. But you also want to see where the volume in those candles are. So you caught the reaccumulation. Where'd you catch? Yeah, I'll be honest, where that was at, it wasn't worth my risk, but it is the reaccumulation. So it played out nicely. It was just too high for me. Where that was at was, so when we look at it, right? So here's your reaccumulation. This is where you caught it, right? Wait, is that where you caught it? Or is this where you caught it? Hold on. So yeah, I guess this is where you caught it right there. That's the break. And that was your entry coming back into here. So yeah, for me, it just wasn't worth the risk. Now, I don't know, what was your stop on it, bro? Hold on, let me see. What was the 1.7? So 1.7, let's see. I mean, think about it. On a 1 to 10, you got to go 17 pips, right? So that's your target. I mean, that was worth it at that point. You know, when we were here though, I was just happy with the, 1 to 52, and on a Tuesday, I'll take it. You know, I won't look a gift horse in the mouth. So the market wants to give me that on a Tuesday, I'll take it all day long. Yeah. Where there is a break in order flow, what do you look for after? What do you mean when there's a break in order flow? Yeah, I don't know. Like a break in order flow and we're pro trend on it, then I just look to see the point of interest that I want to take the buy out of if we've broken order flow. So it all comes back to cause and effect and understanding where the supply and demand, which is essentially just your schematics are. You Swiss traded off the 1 minute extreme, of what, the order flow? Yeah. Yep. A 1 to 52 as it's the norm. I mean, it is. I mean, we catch some crazy entries, man. So, it's just understanding where that precision needs to be. Remember the market doesn't just arbitrarily react from an area, right? It's purposeful. There's a reason why. I talk about it all the time when you're back testing. That should be your goal. Understand, who cares if you can catch this trade or that trade or whatever. You want to find the consistency in what the market is reacting from and why, right? Find the why. And I'll tell you right now, trading becomes so much easier. That when you backtest the week, you miss a lot of trades when trying to manage all majors and a couple of minors at the same time. Would you suggest, yeah, I mean, just organize yourself, right? I mean, I'll tell you right now, like all of these and all of those are on my primary list. I'm actively watching them, but I'm not actively watching the chart, right? It's all about point of interest. So if price doesn't, I mean, how many times have you guys heard me say when someone sends me a chart or something like that, I'm like, it's not in my point of interest. I don't care what it's doing. If I had $1 for every time someone's like, oh, CAD is accumulating on the 1 minute. All right. My alert hasn't gone off yet. If the alert doesn't go off, I'm not watching it. I don't care where it's at. It's got to come into a point of interest, or it's got to break a reaccumulation. So that's why I always box out price, because if we make a new high, all right, let me reset and figure out where my point of interest is. And if we don't make a new high, it's got to come back into my point of interest. So, organization's huge. You need to be able to, have an idea, a game plan of what you're doing with each pair. And, when that price action comes into play, be able to know what you need to see in order to pull the trigger. I don't think it's it's definitely a skill that's learned, right? Because I can tell you that my organization has progressed over the years. I can guarantee you it wasn't as refined as it is today, but you've got to work on it, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the advice I'd give you on it. If you look where I marked in the seconds time frame, what you got, bro? Let's see. Is that where you took it out of? Yeah, awesome. Oh, I see, bro. I see. So I think DR, this is the one you sent me, right? It was out of here. For me, it just wasn't in an area. I think that's the high actually right there. Yeah. So at this point, that's what confirms reaccumulation. And I see. I'll tell you, I probably wouldn't have taken it though, just because I would have needed that to break right there. but let's see. Does it come back after this? I don't know. Does it come back? I don't know if it does. Oh, right there, huh? Nice. Very nice. I wonder what it did come into. Did you look to see what it actually came into though? It's gotta come into somewhere on the 1 second. Let's just see. Let's see where she comes. I mean, I wouldn't have changed the way you traded it though. Yeah, that's where she comes. Just because you want to get filled. Who cares about half of, 2 pipettes or whatever? Yeah. Finding the why. Can you elaborate on that? Yeah. What? Like what I just did. Why did price go here? Right. We needed to figure that out in here. So, I mean, that's what honestly has probably been the most influential thing into the in trading that I've done, is figure out why. Why does price do that? Right. Do I need to go on a second's time frame to find that? Not always. Right. I mean, there's plenty of examples, where you can see where price is coming. It's just the seconds time frame gives you a really refined entry. So yeah, this was a stupid trade, bro. I'll tell you what, man, people talk ill of US dollar Swiss franc, man, but today she paid out some handsome profits. I know a couple people that messaged me privately that caught it. So congrats, man. Could US dollar Swiss franc be distributing? It could be, but until it shows what's the biggest thing in a distribution that you want to see, right? It's it needs to show weakness, right? Let me ask you, does this chart show any weakness? No weakness here, right? I've got no weakness on US dollar Swiss franc. And more importantly, right, like where are we? Right? Where are we? My goal on US dollar Swiss franc is to sweep all of this right up here. If we were going to react, we were reacting out of the COVID spike. And if you guys remember, I was talking about just sweeping above that. So there is no distribution for me. Could it be distributing? Sure. I'll react to the distribution when it gives it to me. I'm not gonna try to judge the distribution, because right now there is no distribution. We're making lower highs, right? This is a bullish market cycle. This is not a distribution market cycle. It is strictly just bullish market cycle until we break order flow. And once we break order flow, then I'm done, right? I'm done until what? Until we go back to bullish order flow, or until we come into structure. So yeah. What else? Let's see. Yeah, Kevin. Did you catch it, Kevin, or no? I was sticking with yeah, you got it. Do you think Euro Chef is showing some weakness? I have no clue, man. I can't get Euro Chef on my chart. TradingView, I about 2 years ago, I sent a message to TradingView to tell them to take Euro Chef off of my chart. Euro Chef and EuroCAD and GCAD. So I can't even pull those up on my chart. Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't traded Euro Chef I'll tell you right now, the last time I traded Euro Chef, there was 95 secondary tests in a distribution. You caught it? Awesome. You had a slight buffer. All right, cool. I got you. Yeah, no, Euro Chef, dude, I couldn't even tell you, bro. I don't even know. What was the last time I traded Euro Chef? Hold on. Let's see. Do I have any markings on this? Oh, geez. So let me go 1 hour. There you go. That was, I think somebody in January asked me to give him my input on Eurochef. And I said, probably not. Thumbs up. There you go. I couldn't even tell you the last time I traded this. This was, what is this? August. Hold on. Let's see. August 2021, maybe. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't done a top down on this. I mean, it looks bearish as crap, man. So what's the question? Is this showing weakness? Yeah, bro. This is showing weakness. This is showing weakness. Correct. Weakness. Yes. Yeah. You're in the redistro. So yeah, I'd be looking at shorts. I'd be looking at shorts on anything euro related. Because why? Because right, if this is driving the force, right? If this is what it's doing, it's all because of the dollar, right? Because if the dollar's bullish, that means the euro has to be bearish. Has to be. It's a diametrically opposed asset. So, all right. At H1 current price. What about H1 current price, bro? Yeah, you're in supply, bro. That is a redistribution. So that's in supply. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So we covered, what did we cover? We covered USHEF, UCAD. All right. Yeah, good. So we got through all the majors, right? And that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for. On ACAD side, right? On the ACAD side. So 100%, I'm still looking for the shorts on this, right? You can see, do I care about this right here? Absolutely not. I could care less about it, right? What I do know is that I don't even know why this says this should be a distro. So that should be your distro. We know that the distro has broken order flow. We know that we just redistributed last week, right? So what am I targeting now? I'm looking for these shorts right here. I'm looking to target, sweep that low, give us a new leg. That's pretty much my output on ACAD, right? I'm looking to short this. I'm looking to get down beyond this level here, right? I want to just take this all the way down. I was looking at it this morning. ACAD and NCAD are in pretty good areas, and you can kind of see what I'm looking to do with it, right? I mean, here's the redistro. So at this point, do we shoot back up and get into an area here or here? These are going to be my points of interest to short this market, right? And it'll be worth it because we got some good pip real estate, right? I mean, from up here, we're talking 225 pips. So it's in a good real estate area. I like it. For those of you guys that are questioning, why am I not looking for buys out of this? The same reason I wasn't looking for buys on AU, right? Because this accumulation has no business being an accumulation. And I'm pretty confident it's going to be a redistribution. And if you want to just guess what NCAD is doing, NCAD's already blown through that low. So look at NCAD. Does NCAD look bullish or bearish? Bearish as can be. So, its sister ACAD is going to follow suit, right? It's just showing that NCAD's the leader, ACAD's the laggard. So ACAD, that's what I'm looking to play. On the NCAD side, same thing. I mean, if we ever get a damn pullback on this, right? NCAD, we were looking, this thing's just been a heartbreaker. We were looking here. Nope, didn't get it. We broke. We were looking here. Nope, we didn't get it. I feel like every time I want to try and take a sell on this thing, she just doesn't give it to me. I did work a position in here and got taken out at break even only for this thing to drop. So what are we looking at now? Same thing, right? Same exact thing. We come back up into the manipulation, which is this right here. I'm a seller from here, right? I'm a seller from here. So we'll see. I really don't want to do much with it until we either redistribute, right? Maybe something like that. And then I'll play out of here. Or we come up into this part right here. That's what I'm going to really be looking for. So NZDCAD about to hit the 80 of a 12-hour accumulation, I thought. Of a 12-hour accumulation. I guess the question would be this. What did this accumulation do? What did this do? Did it invalidate supply? because we're bearish from here, right? So this really has no relevance for me. Hold on one sec. Yep, that's all it was, right? Break of order flow. That's all she was, right? Because this was the break here. So that meant this right here is your leg. So yeah, I'm not now. Would this give a reason for it to come back up into structure? Because hold on, I know my markings on NCAD are a little sloppy, right? Because of this break, we know that this is our leg, right? So could that be the reason for us to come back up? Absolutely, right? So what would I do with that information? I mean, I'm surely not going to be buying this, right? I mean, I could, because I'm still holding cells on NCAD going back a very long time. I don't even know where that, I think it was like November was the first sell I got into. But until we break order flow, I'm going to continue to sell this. I don't care where we're coming into, because nothing about this is showing any kind of strength or any kind of buyers coming into the market. So I'll be continuing to short it, right? We come, in this case here, we come back up here. Good to go for me to start shorting it. All right. So that's ACAD and NCAD. CAD Chef. So I got CAD Chef up here as well. And CAD Chef, pretty much the same thing, right? What I'll be looking for is I'm looking for us to come back. Hold on. There we go. We reaccumulated here, right? This was the accumulation. This was the reaccumulation. So anywhere in here is where I'm waiting. It's CAD Chef. So this is, 100 pips. It's going to be a while, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, we come back down in here. But nothing about CAD Chef is giving me any weakness. So isn't that how market cycles shift? Or don't try to hunt that kind of stuff? What do you mean? Isn't that how market cycles shift? All right. Well, while I wait for the answer to that, we'll move on. So CAD Chef, that's what I'm waiting on. CAD and Chef J, absolutely nothing. We're up into some higher time frames now because we broke order flow, right? So on CAD, I'm still holding what I got, and we're still here, right? We're just trapped between this leg right here. So we either need to push higher, right? Or we need to come lower. There's really nothing for me to really do with CAD. It's just in no man's land. It's been in no man's land for like 2 weeks now. So I'm just kind of waiting on it. And Chef J is the same thing, right? Chef J has broken order flow, right? We've broken order flow. So now the only thing that needs to happen is we need to push up higher, or we need to come into structure. And we've got a long way to come into structure, right? A long way. So, it's going to be just sit back and wait. I mean, there's nothing really I'm going to do until I see some kind of evidence, of buyers coming in. Can Asian price action hold structure? Yeah, sure. If it's responsible for the leg, absolutely. All right, so that's Chef JPY. I know we were looking at EJ and GJ, right? So EJ, I mean, this is pretty much what I've got. We reaccumulated here, and this was our leg. We came back into it, we accumulated, and now we're kind of in like that reaccumulation stage. So, the key here, market's just making lower highs, right? What's the expectation that we're doing this, right? And I know I talked about how if UJ is bullish, right, then EJ should be, right? EJ should be bearish. But on these yen crosses, the yen is actually what's driving this, right? So you can see that euro and US dollar, Japanese yen are both going to be bullish on this. So I don't mind buying them. Me personally, I prefer to buy UJ because I know the dollar is strong and I know the yen because UJ is just massively bullish. So if UJ is bullish, that means that the yen futures is diametrically opposed to it. It's going to be bearish, right? So I'll be looking for continuation plays on EJ as well as GJ, right? We were looking at it this morning and let's go like more reasonable time frame. So we broke here. You could see it. We broke, took out the redistro, and we came back into some demand area. And now all we're doing is just this, right? We're just building orders. So one of the things I was looking at was, do we confirm a type 1 accumulation here, right? Do we come lower and create a spring? What do we do? I was looking at it this morning. It looked pretty decent, but we never broke. And that's the thing that I wanted to see. I wanted to see this break, right? Because this is our low. This is our previous low. This is what needed to break, and we never did it. So there was no trade. At this point, what I need to see is I just need to see bullishness, right? Or sweep it, break. That's my entry to take this higher, right? So GJ and EJ are there. They're just low on my list of what I want to do with it. Nothing too crazy. And I think that's it on indices, right? On the indices side, I mean, these were pretty easy plays. We've been shorting this for a while, right? And, obviously coming out of these shorts, I know a couple of you guys have caught some massive sells from this. On NASDAQ, there was a short last week that I tried to get into up here, never came back to mitigate. It is what it is, right? And what I played this morning was pretty much this. So I wanted to see, we had the manipulation. Here we go. I wanted to see the distribution. We got the manipulation at the open. And what I wanted to see was this low, right? I wanted to see this low get taken. We didn't get the low taken, so I couldn't take the limit order, right? There was no limit order for me to take. However, I could take a schematic if it presents itself, right? So what I did do was this. We got a schematic right here. There's your distribution, your manipulation. We confirm it with the break. And what I ended up doing, I actually get triggered on that one right there, but we come back into 50% of our manipulation. So that was my first entry. And as price goes to play it out, we finally break, right? So when we finally break, now what I'm looking for is for price now to come back to mitigate this move, right? And it happens like right after lunchtime, which I typically don't like to trade indices after lunch. But USHF put me in a good mood. So I was ready to pull the trigger on it. And we'll fast forward. We'll fast forward to after lunch. There we go. So after lunch, you can see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to come back into the 80% of this move, which we do, right? I didn't have a limit order set. I was just going to play a schematic. And what do we get, right? We get a schematic, right? We get a type 1 schematic, type 1 distro. And hold on, let me mute this. There we go. So there we go. Okay. So we get a type 1, and this was my UTAD, right? That was my UTAD. I ended up taking it off the 50. I was fine. I think it was like a 16-point stop. Yeah, 16-point stop. I was fine with it. I could have taken it off the 80, but I just wanted to get filled. And then what do? We redistribute, right? Here's your accumulation. We redistribute. So now I'm looking for price to come back in here. And this, I would have taken the entry. It just, you can see it comes right into the 80% of it. But by this time we were at 3 o'clock and I was done. So how would I mark out the type 1? Like this. There we go. No. Just like that. Make sense? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it gave a second or it gave another entry. Yep, you got it, man. It gave another entry off of that off that 80%, but I don't like to trade during power hour. So it came in right at 3 o'clock, and and then you can see what happened. So I've partialed out as we came into the end of the day down here, right around whatever this is, 13,323 is where I took the journal shot at. I caught the 1 to 11 on it, and then I did take partials out of this one here. When we broke that low, that was out of 1 to 9. I took some more partials down here at 12,200 for a 1 to 13. So played the nice little continuation plays on it. What am I looking for on NASDAQ? Obviously, I'm just looking for continuation. So, bigger picture, what I need to see now is I just need to see this continue down and confirm this right here, right? Confirm the redistribution. If we, depending on how we get there, like if we were just to short now, then this is going to be my focal point for us to come back and catch another move to go short with it. And of course, if we go higher, right, where am I looking for us to go higher? I'm looking right here, right? This is the area right up here that I want to see us come back into. So if we do trade higher up into here, I could care less. I've already taken my profits out of that. I'll let the remaining orders just hit break even, and I'll wait for her up here. On SPX, right? Pretty much same play. I'm still holding a short on SPX from up here. This was last Wednesday, I think, where I caught that one. That thing is sitting at a 1 to 30 something. And this morning, same identical price action. This is why I didn't catch UCAD, because I was in the middle of all of this. And, what I was looking to trade, same thing. You can see that we got very clean distribution, right? We got the clean distribution. We're in a bearish market. And as soon as we confirmed that distribution, what I was looking for was I wanted us to come back into this move. Well, when we came back into that move, what do we get? We got the, man, is TradingView lagging for you guys as well? Because this morning, it was killing me. So what do we get? We got another schematic, right? So this is the 50%, right? And here's your schematic, right? Here is your trading range. There's your manipulation, and there's your break, right? So what did I do? I just measured out my manipulation, took it off the 50%, stop loss above the high. That's how I took it. Yeah. Oh boy, dude. If they responded with that email like that, dude, oh man, I would have put them on blast, bro. Wow. Good. Yeah. Whatever, dude. Whatever. So anyway, yeah. So this was pretty simple. And then as soon as we broke that low right here, I reduced risk, paid myself some profits here, right? What I risked on the trade that went out there. And what I was looking for, just like NASDAQ, right? What did I want to see? I want to see us break this low, right? I wanted it to break this low. As soon as we broke that low, same exact thing. And I don't know, DR, if you're on, bro, this is where I caught the re-entry. So all I was looking for, right, after we broke this, I just measured this out. You could see here's 50, here's 80. So when we came into the 50 here, this is where I caught that other move. So come on. Yeah, this is where I caught the other move. So same thing, just like NASDAQ. Really clean. There we go. Really clean type 1. And I'll tell you right now, the only reason that I took this one off the 80 and not the 50 is because when I was putting the trade in, right around here. I started with the 80 first, and it came in right away into the 80 and never let me put in my 50. So I would have had split risk on it. And the only reason I would have had split risk is because off the 50 was like a 6 pip or a 6 point. Yeah. So it was 5 points with the spread. So, I got it off the 80, same exact thing, right? We got the distribution. Here's your trading range, right? There's your up thrust. there's your UTAD, there's the break, we accumulate, right? And then what do? We confirm a redistribution. So same thing, you could see this is the 50, right? This is the 50 and the 80. I was looking for price to come back into that. And this is what we do, right? We come back in, but like I said, by this time I was done trading. This is 3 o'clock. I don't trade at 3 Eastern. So as soon as we, ended up distributing and then confirming another redistribution, partialed out here for a 1 to 16 and just let the rest ride. So, what am I expecting to happen with SPX? Same thing. We're just shorting the crap out of this thing. So I've got this low is what I want to see in order for me to come back and play out of here tomorrow. So we'll see how it plays. If it doesn't, right? If we end up going higher, well, then where am I going to play from? I know that this is what I'm looking at up here, right? That's what I want to get up into. And I just don't see fundamentally why we would get up there. Bigger picture, listen, we're in a massive distribution. I've been calling, I've been saying that we're coming into this low down here around 3,400. That's my target. So do you ever consider DXY or yields when looking at your setups on? Nope. Yeah. For me, DXY has no influence on indices. So, yeah. And then US 30, same exact thing. Same exact thing, right? I mean, we call this up here, right? We called the distro, and I'm looking at 27K is where I'm looking to take this down to. U30 this morning just didn't give me anything I really wanted to play out of. The sells from here I'm still holding. And you can kind of see like my thought process because U30 broke above yesterday's New York price action. I knew this was just going to be manipulation, but I really didn't want anything to do with it. Like we broke here. So I was looking for price to come back up in here. And this was the only area that I was shorting it from, right? So if this alert went off, I'd be looking for the distro just like I did the other ones. Alert never went off, so I never traded it, So can we come higher? Yeah, I mean, we can tonight come into here, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm only going to be, I only trade indices during equities open. So 9:30 to 4 is when I really only trade equities. I'm not looking for it aftermarket or anything. But that's kind of my outlook on it. I'm still bearish. I'm not looking for any buys on it. We're not in an area where we're going to come into any demand, right? We've just taken out major demand by taking out this low. So, ideally this would be my next area that potentially we can see demand come into play. And it's going to be, somewhere in like this range in here is where I see it. So we've got another 1,000 points to drop on this sucker. So that's it. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm watching, yeah, I've been pretty happy with what we're doing, and again, we broke this low. So could we come back up into that distribution? Yeah, 100%, right? Absolutely. We can come in there, but I'll deal with it when we get up there. Like, I'm not going to just sit back and not do anything with it. I'm going to play the continuation move until we get there, and when order flow gets broken and we break a leg structure. All right. Then I'll look at trying to buy it. There's some guys, I don't know if West is on here. Yeah, I don't know if West is on here, but I know he caught the top. He's in that distribution way up the hell up here. So I'm hoping he's still holding it, because that is one banger of a damn trade. I mean, what is that? Geez, man, that's over 400 points. Where is that at? That's at, oh geez, no, that's 800 points now. 800 points or 8,000 pips on the SPX, man. So when you say leg structure, what time frame? The number doesn't matter. Yeah, the number doesn't matter. I mean, just look at SPX right now. I mean, this leg right here on the 4 hour, this right here, when we broke here, that's our new leg structure. It's the same on the daily, right? It's the same leg structure on the daily. It's the same on the 30-minute, right? Hold on. Let me shrink it down. It's the same on the 30-minute, right? When we broke this is still the leg structure. So the number to me doesn't matter. It's the leg. Yeah. My biggest takeaway from it, I guess maybe just like discipline and organization. Yeah. Am I still bearish on EG? Yeah, of course I'm bearish on EG. Yeah, why wouldn't I be bearish? We still haven't even broken lower time frame structure. I mean, we're right in it, right? We're right in EG's lower time frame structure. Where's it at? There you go. Yeah, we're right in it. This is where I wanted to see. There you go. That's where I wanted to see us sell from. So we're right there, and it looks like we're building a distribution. So absolutely, I'm bearish on this. I mean, I don't know who's who's bullish, but you know, you've got you've got a lot of people that have been bullish on it all throughout here. So for the last year, I've been hearing people been bullish on EG, and that hasn't worked out for them real well. So, but yeah, I'm still bearish on this. I'll be bearish on EG until, geez, I mean, realistically, this is where I really want it to come up here. So I doubt we'll get it up there though. I think if anything, we're going to get one kind of manipulation, and then this just confirm this as a redistro. So yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's everything I'm looking at. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has anything out there that they're looking at. For me, it's pretty basic. The last 4 weeks, it's just been dollar crosses. You know, the dollar crosses have been paying out big, so I don't need to go out and try to fight and pay brokers bigger spreads. You know, I'd rather just stick to a lower spread. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything I'm looking at, and I'll be continuing to play the moves, you know, just from this week. I mean, I'll be holding these and just managing everything else I have on my order book. Yep. I think I'm all caught up. Yeah. All caught up in the chat. Awesome. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you guys have got nothing else, man, it's an early night. Pretty happy about it. You got it. You got it. Awesome. Well, listen, cool. If you guys got nothing else, I will catch everybody later. You know, again, not a lot of news this week, so I'm expecting just, you know, fundamentals to really not play a big part in it. Cube ICO. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not, you're talking about KubeCoin, right? I'm not really jumping into any cryptos until I figure out what BTC is doing. You know, especially some of these like node projects, man. You know, everything's going to live and die by what BTC does. And if BTC, so if, you know, you got to think about it from a perspective of whales, you know, BTC starts to push lower and breaks that support level, everyone's pretty much going to be flooding into stable coin. So there's nobody that's going to be, at least nobody with influence, that's going to be able to really push the market higher on some of these altcoins and some of these ICOs that are going to be coming out. So, you know, all of the node projects that I've been involved in, I've been able to at least break even, and even in some cases take some good partials out. So, you know, I'm playing with, you know, earned money, and, you know, we'll see what happens. Market structure and cycle. Which one comes first? What do you mean, which one comes first? Can you show their unity? What do you mean show their unity, man? Yeah, I don't understand what you mean by unity. I mean, incorporate your cycle and your structure to figure out what you're going to do with the market. I mean, that's how I would look at it, or that's how I would explain it. Right? Highs and lows mean nothing. It's all about what's maintaining the leg and the cycle of the market within that leg. So, you know, That's how I would look at it. Yeah. Do I have I ever made a mistake in an analysis which results in losses? Absolutely. I only win 45% of my trades. Absolutely. When I lose a trade, I would say 75% of the issue in the trade that I lost has to deal with my bias being wrong. The 25% is like stupid error. Maybe like I was in a rush to throw, the multiple orders in, or, maybe I was in a rush and moved my stop loss to break even too quickly, something like that. That's, those are far and few between. For the most part, it's all I got the bias or the structure wrong. How many types of distributions do I trade? One. That's it. I just trade one. Yep. If it's not a type 1 distro with a clear manipulation in a UTAD for a UTAD, I'm not trading it. So, yep. Alrighty, guys. Awesome. Well, listen, I will catch everybody later. After spring and a UTAD, a break of structure, I wait for the 50 and 80 of the, yeah, man. Yep. After a break structure within the schematic, yeah, I'll find confluence in the UTAD and, take it off the 50 and the 80 of it. If we break order flow on the higher time frame, do you consider that to be a reversal, or do you wait until the structure is broken? So, well, higher time frame order flow would be what? Intraday structure. So your intraday structure is broken. So if intraday structure is broken, it means, so if you're in a bearish market, bearish higher time frame, and your higher time frame order flow has been broken, that means that your lower time frame and your intraday are bullish. So that means that I'd be looking for buys to what? Buys into the higher time frame structure. So I'll be buying into higher time frame structure, and when we get there, then I'm just going to wait and see what we do. If I start to see evidence, because in order to come into higher time frame structure, right, you need bullish intraday, bullish lower time frame. So that's where I would be looking for the short. And if we trade through higher time frame structure and we are now completely bullish, right, then I'm already in the buys from lower time frame and intraday. So why don't I trade other types of schematics? Because I have like a combined winning percentage of maybe like 10% on all the other types of distros. And most of you guys have seen my journal. I'm pretty good. If I get a type 1 on a Thursday, Friday, I'm pretty good with it. So I don't need to trade anything else. Yeah. Yeah. I make a pretty good living off of just type 1s. So I don't need to fight, I don't need to fight the market to try to catch type 2s, 3s, and 4s. Right. I don't. So I'll just stick to a type 1. Same thing goes for accumulations. I'm actually better at type 1 accumulations than type 1 distros. So, for me, why trade anything else? I have a higher probability of success by trading the type 1. So I'm not even going to worry about the type 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, or 7s. So, but that's just me. If you're better at trading type 3s, 4s, and 5s, then do them. I mean, the only answer that you're going to seek or you're going to get is from your journal. Your journal is going to tell you, whether or not you should stop trading type 4s, right? How many of you guys on here has your journal told you maybe stop trading order flow, maybe stop trading this, maybe stop trading that? Because, my journal tells me I suck at type 3s, right? My journal tells me I suck at type 4s. So why give the market money when I can just hold on to it and wait for the type 1? The type 1 happens a lot, right? So, I don't need to make $1 million in a day. All I need to do is just make a steady income. And how do I do that? Like being consistent and allowing the trades to play out themselves. So that's why I do it, man. All right. Awesome. Any other questions? Your your turn. Yeah, bro. All good, Angel. We're all good, man. Yeah, but that's good. Listen to what your journal tells you, man. Your journal tells you all, right? It's going to be, it's going to be the true, the true reason as to why you implement your trading plan, right? And, I mean, most of you guys know, I mean, I've had to not augment my trading plan, but, I've added stuff to the trading plan because, when things aren't working out, what do? You've got to adjust. When things are in a position where you need to maybe incorporate some other types of analysis or some other types of trades, right? Most of you guys know I hate order flow, but the last 6 months, what's it all been? Order flow, right? But what have we done? We've back tested the order flow, and as long as we're pro trend on the order flow, play the order flow. So that's what we did. Yeah. Your journal equals a litmus test. Yeah, that's funny, man. Can't wait for the day it tells me that I'm right. Yeah, there you go, man. It will. Trust me, man. Just stick with it. It's that there's a fine line between being profitable and not being profitable, right? You'd be amazed at just the little things that you may have to do to overcome that. So awesome. Well, listen, guys, I will catch everybody later, man. Thank you for hopping on. Do you think backtesting works well without the use of a replay tool? So it'll suck. I mean, without that replay tool, you doing this, right? You doing that for hours and hours and hours will suck, especially if you don't have like a nice little scroll on your mouse. But yeah, it'll suck, I guess it's the same as, saying, would you go to run around a track without shoes on, I mean, you can do it. It's just going to suck. So, yeah. What defines your order flow and structure leg? What defines my order flow? Order flow is everything in between your leg structure, man. Can I show it on a chart? I've got about, I don't know, 1,000 videos, man, on YouTube. You can just watch them, here, I'll give you this right here on EG. This is, see the red dot? That red dot to this red dot right here. That's my leg. You see all of these highs and lows in here. That's all order flow. That's all order flow, all in here. That's all order flow. All of that. So yeah, order flow is everything on the inside. So remember, you have various degrees of order flow, right? This is your leg, right? That's your leg. And, order flow, actually, even if you think of it like this, higher time frame order flow is equal to intraday structure most of the time, right? Intraday order flow is equal to lower time frame structure. All right. And then most of you guys have figured out that you have lower time frame order flow. You have like super lower time frame order flow. And then you even have stupid lower time frame order flow, right? That's pretty much the various degrees of order flow. So yeah, it ain't easy. I'll try to tell you right now. It's probably one of my weakest things is order flow, and one of the advices I'll give you is just zoom out and you'll be able to at least figure out where you are, right? Location. That's the most important thing. Understand where you are. And I guarantee you, most of you that look back at some of the losses you've taken, if you just zoom out, you'll say these words to yourself, damn, why did I take that trade? Right. So just look at it. You got it. So let's see. What is this, bro? In the name of all, you got it, bro. You got it, man. Absolutely. I'm super patient. Yeah, man. You got to be. I'll tell you right now, you can't, you know how they say, don't let emotions influence your trading. You just got to tune it out, man. Find a good Spotify channel, listen to some music, play some video games, right? Relax, take a deep breath, and just trade the charts, right? Disassociate yourself from your MT5 and just play the charts, right? I'm no young buck, right? But I still enjoy a good video game. And for me, I look at trading as a video game. How can I try to outsmart the opponent? How can I try to, profit the most? And how can I try to catch some of these entries? That's all it is. Just sit back and relax, enjoy the ride, man. So, when will I do a Saturday session? Maybe this weekend, maybe this weekend. Yeah. We've been on a gauntlet run for volleyball. So I've been gone every weekend. So it's kind of hard when I'm not home. So I'm not in my command center, but, I may do it this weekend. We'll see. We'll see if there's anything to really do a session on. Yeah, man. All good. All good. Listen, guys, thanks for hopping on. I'll upload this for the guy in India that always gives me grief, bro. I'll upload it as soon as I'm done with dinner. So you guys have a great one. Enjoy. Thanks for hopping on, man. I'll see you guys later.